Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is Johnboy. It is Johnboy time. Your host, John Francis Fahey. Joining me as ever is, from the top rope, Love Jizz, Michelangelo's David Duchovny, Aaron Josephita. How are you?
That's how I am.
Kick it!
Cracking it open, baby. Cool, frosty, ice cold lolly.
I want you to crack it wide open, pal.
And I'm here to deliver it.
Yeah. That's Union Made PP, I understand.
That is Union Made PP. And I'm going to tell you that PP is number one, and I will die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Nice.
Okay.
Cool.
Speaking of number one.
Sing, girl.
And also top rope.
Yeah.
Of
Jizz.
And cheese.
ripping it and killing it.
Yeah.
Matt Brousseau.
Rip 'em.
Rip 'em.
Rip 'em.
Rip 'em.
It's surprisingly hard to do.
Yeah.
Do you think they had
It'd
to...
probably be easier if you're looking at me and I was in a neck brace and crying.
In a wheelchair.
And I was in my underwear?
Yeah. You were
doing push-ups in a hotel room.
And you're as tan as Aaron is and oiled up.
Yeah.
You can also use Astroglide.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's
Pass the tanning butter.
It's water-based, you know.
It should be.
Got a couple of word of the day I've been doing on my app on my phone.
Oh, yeah?
Vexatious.
Now that's something that's confusing.
Yes, it's a pest.
Vexing.
Pestiferous, you know. And
Pestiferous.
also crabwise.
And I think pestiferous is going to be in the Eternals coming out.
That's good. Yeah. He sounds annoying.
Yeah.
Crabwise, to come at something in a indirect manner, and
Crabwise.
and then to also move as
A crab does. Crabwise.
Now, going crabwise into the promos. Follow us on Twitter, PP Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Profiles in Eccentricity. Get a gander at some of these freaks, some of these weirdos, and also, of course,
Gander, a group of geese.
That's right.
Very, very good.
That's right.
The word
got
of the
it.
night.
Yes, and I believe we found out at that barbecue that a group of white men is a podcast.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. A podcast of men came through.
Just like dolphins.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but I remember.
Yeah.
Profiles in Eccentricity remembers.
Yeah, we do have an extra show if you're into this sort of tomfoolery per week on the Patreon.
If you're into the Chuck Woolery, fuck off. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Get us there. We do all kinds of different shit on there.
You know, one of the only shows that is recording during earthquakes.
That's right. Yeah,
That's right.
We got live from the quake, mid-COVID, mid-smoke air,
Mid-coitus.
mid-quake, mid-coitus as always.
We were one of the few podcasts to have a triple disaster going on. Really,
Show
the
itself.
royal flush of disasters.
we did. Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, and
for a couple bucks a month.
Did the show go on? I fucking think so. I fucking think so.
Yeah.
I believe it fucking did.
I didn't hear a fat lady sing. It was that kind of disaster.
Yeah, we got kind of panicked there for a minute. That was fun.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you were totally in control of the shaking earth.
No. I was in control of my reaction.
Yeah, but you shit yourself.
Yeah.
But on purpose.
Yeah, and then you asked us which one of us.
Which one of you cowards shit in my pants?
Yeah, which I thought was weird because I don't even know how I could do that. You know,
which one of you homos come in my pants?
We got those big pants.
There's cum everywhere.
This was an earthquake.
Oh God. Oh,
which one of you put a Sibian in the basement?
Now who's the refugee?
I came all over the shit in my pants. Which one of you did that?
You came on the shit.
God.
So I can thank you.
When I sit on my basement throne, I'm king of Sibia.
Usurper.
I thought that was an earthquake. It was just the Sibian.
It was just the Sibian refugee waking up.
Oh, God.
Wake up the Sibian. He's sleeping.
If 3 or 4 time
Boy, man.
correctly.
And is there egg on my face? Urges. Matt, I was told you have a little pop-up.
Sure, yeah, keep filling.
Keep filling.
With what?
This is not... I don't fill, pal.
Are we vamping?
I don't fill. All right?
What did we watch recently? We watched a movie. Oh, we watched Top Secret?
Well, yeah.
Boy. Oh, boy. Nick said it's as good as Airplane. Oh, okay.
It was very gaggy of the time.
Yeah, it made me want to gag.
But there was
it was
obviously a reason it wasn't as well known as Airplane.
Right, it's not Airplane. But a nice young Val Kilmer.
I did have a couple of good laughs. I felt like I also...
There's some
the
funny
one thing I laughed at was like the most terrible thing in the movie, and I laughed my ass off. It was when he talks about getting abducted by a group of men. He's like, the things they did to me were like, and then I crack up at that. And I was like, oh, man.
Savage.
This is probably not even supposed to be funny.
No. There was.
No. There was some laughs.
There's a few. Matt, you've got some kind of porno magazine or something.
Yeah.
Like a red light district.
That's exactly right, David. So there's a book I came across. There's someone I'm going to do a profile about at some point, but one of the main sources on it is this woman, Donna Cassi, who I mentioned before, who she did a zine in the 80s and collected all of them to put out a book. Mm-hmm. And her zine was all about, weirdos and freaks. Or just weird shit she would come across.
Yes. Oddities. The sort of thing we're into here on the program.
Eccentric ephemera.
Yeah. Sure. Things like the Anglo-Israelites.
I like the Black Israelites.
And she also has a chapter about Black Messiahs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And so we'll get into some of those at some point. The Koreshian Institute, that's where really I started, the research started from this.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I just came across this little thing that, there's not much to it, but I read it and I said, oh, I think the boys,
lads.
I think the lads might enjoy.
That's to be shared with the lads.
I think you know our sensibilities.
Yeah, and especially the final conclusion, because it makes sense based on everything we know.
Oh.
So she's the only...
Why don't you show the camera that wonderful, wonderful cover? Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Bean footage?
It's a Bush's Baked Beans commercial.
So this is a collection called Kooks by Donna Cassi. It's a collection of all of her zine writings, I imagine.
He knew that if the Kooks ever got their hands on the zine... What?
So now she found this pamphlet, and the pamphlet is entitled, Did God Destroy the Dinosaurs?
Good question.
And it's got Damian Royce and Jason Zolot. And I've searched, the internet, and I can't find any reference to this thing anywhere other than people referencing her article about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't. She wouldn't have made it up. That's an insane.
Why?
That's a hell of a name. It might be a pen name.
Yeah,
it sounds like it might be a crayon name.
Finger paint.
But it is a big issue with the 6,000-year-old Earthers.
Of course.
That.
I can't believe there's 6,000 of them.
Yeah.
The Earth is 1 year old.
Yeah.
We are few, but we are proud.
Yeah.
We are the 6,000-year-old Earth.
Also, the dinosaurs, gigantic. Animals being ridden, saddleback by fellas.
Yeah. Or ladies, which was fine back then.
And they die and the people don't. It seems hard to believe.
I know.
Well, that's just people for you. Really, we can really live through anything except disease
But also, big people die.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
not a lot
That's
of
good
big,
point.
tall guys that are 100.
Yeah.
Except Bill Russell. Bill Russell's pushing like 90-something.
Yeah. It just seems like he seems like a good dude.
Yeah, I think
that's
God
just how it
likes
works.
him.
There's no bad people that live long. That's
I got 2 hearts.
he's secretariat.
Jesus.
So anyway, they're trying to figure out how to combine the Earth, the fact that dinosaurs were around, and some people say that it's the work of Satan, trickery, or that it's God put it there to fuck with us, like an was it not Abraham? Isaac. Yeah,
Isaac Newton.
Isaac Newton. Just like Isaac Newton is here to fuck with us.
Yeah. God put a flaming bag of poo on the earth.
Yeah, it's a test.
And that was dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they say no. So in this pamphlet, Royce and Zola, they say no. It's the work of Satan. But originally Satan, decent dude.
Yeah.
When he was just an angel.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Well,
maybe even God's favorite.
I mean, he was just Lucifer. He wasn't Satan yet.
Yeah.
Lucifer's a good dude.
the Morning Star.
Lou.
Yeah.
I call him Lou.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucifer.
But eventually he starts to go bad, and when he starts going bad, he starts fucking with the earth.
No.
Yeah, and the more he fucks with the earth, the more he becomes kind of like Satan.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Brat.
And so would they write that the universe must have teemed with life, wondrous and beautiful in its many varieties. But then Lucifer began turning into Satan by beginning to tamper with the creation of life. Perhaps it started initially as an amusement, or a prank or diversion. Perhaps to impress or entertain the lesser angelic beings who lack the power to create life.
Yeah, your cherubim, your your cherubim.
Yeah.
Right on.
Seraphim.
They say that he turned Earth into a freakish, hellish nightmare that would a world drenched in blood and gore, violence and death and destruction.
Oh, God.
An obscene parody of what God had intended. His bloodlust had become insatiable. And, in the Bible, there's no evidence of God being cruel or
Not at all.
mean or...
I heard there was no evidence of God.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you get to the last page, that's when they tell you.
Just want
Really?
to make sure
Yeah.
you were reading.
What do they say?
They just say, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
funny.
last, and then it says the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how you translate it. Yeah, the original Hebrew, I think, is gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
But in Greek,
God is check.
The Greek, it's psych. Because psycho is a Greek word.
That's exactly right.
So then they go on to say that God wouldn't stand for this, of course, and so they had to cleanse the heavens, and get
What
rid
this
of.
town needs is an enema. God's such a joker.
Yeah, because God was like, I don't want any of that blood down there. That's no good.
I don't want that.
And so he stops Satan, and the destruction of the dinosaurs, they say, is actually Satan being thrown from heaven and striking the earth. So Satan is
like a asteroid or a comet or some sort of meteor.
Yeah.
Well, he is always the meteor guy.
But then they also mention, so Satan comes down. It's in the Bible, in Revelations. There's this fallen angel or fallen star in the Bible, and it says that when he came down, it was given a key to the underworld and unlock the underworld, and that's where all the locusts came out of. And they say, well, that's clearly Satan.
Was that like the seventh seal? Was that something?
Yes, the seventh seal was the door to the underworld.
Well, there were 7 seals, and
Maybe. I thought you were joking. But
no, I'm not. I'm not fucking.
Well, stop joking.
I'm not joking. This is very serious. This is serious science. Okay?
I haven't seen the Seven Seals, so.
No. Well, the 7th seal is in reference
the
to
movie
the
Seven.
verse in Revelations.
I
there
see.
were 7 seals, and each one was progressively broken, more shit happened.
I see.
To herald the end of the world.
And were they clapping or?
The seals, they had balls on their faces.
Nice. Good.
Yeah,
Whiskers.
yeah. You love balls on faces.
Big time. Big time.
So now they say, so Satan came down and the dinosaurs were destroyed in Satan's fall. But
Because they were all his pranks to begin with.
Yes.
Triceratops.
Yeah, come on.
Jack, yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
I'll believe it when I see it.
And but also, despite that, not all of Satan's creations were destroyed at this time. Certain areas were permitted to retain their hot, steamy climate, and certain abnormal creatures like sharks and crocodiles.
That dirty gator.
Oh, the gator.
Oh, he a rascal. Now, what did it say about that gator?
You part of Satan's plan. You a leftover.
They're permitted to exist.
What about it's a crocodile, but gators too, right?
Gator too.
Crocodiles and alligators. Puny
that's so
cousins of dinosaurs and sea reptiles, but no
puny-
less deadly and bloodthirsty.
You puny poor excuse for a satanic practical joke.
You just a mini croc. You a little croc. I wear crocs on my feet.
You ain't no killer croc. I'll turn you into a nice pair of boots.
Ooh.
So I got, they made for walking. Christopher Walken.
That's right.
These boots were made for walking.
Oh, God.
That's so dumb. Really.
That's very good. That's 2 Christopher Walken references now.
Yeah.
First one was about the kooks or whatever you
Yeah,
said.
the kooks.
Oh, right.
And then boots.
Yeah.
And then boots. And then boots. And boots.
And boots.
Some might say walking
So he
devices.
says there's a few leftovers like sharks.
Sharks and crocodiles and alligators.
That's a dino. That's a dino.
And sharks
I know.
haven't had to really adapt for 65 million years.
No, well, I mean,
They're perfect creature.
Yeah, it's-
A killing machine.
yeah. No thoughts, no regrets. Always swimming.
No rules, just right.
Always working.
I wonder what they ate before license plates were invented, you know?
I don't know. Yeah. Treasure chests.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And before that? Dinosaurs.
Yeah. And they're trash.
Yeah, dinosaurs trash.
Dinosaur trash.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We can hear the helicopters
Chapels.
doing there's
chapels?
the protests over Breonna Taylor.
Oh, here in Los Angeles as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, nationwide.
Well, of course.
It's,
They shot a couple cops over there in Louisville.
they did.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Neither did the cops.
Well, they charged that guy for hurting a wall and not killing a human. So that's
Yeah.
Wanton.
probably gonna.
Wanton endangerment, apparently.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in Chinatown. I don't know what they're talking about.
Nobody knows.
But if a cop kills a person,
Generally in bed. Yeah, they should go to jail.
Yeah, but
it seems like
the
they should go
Daily
in
did
jail.
a multiple. The Daily podcast by the New York Times did a multi-episode breakdown of all the facts of the case.
Yeah.
And it's pretty damning.
Pretty damning.
It's pretty damning.
It should be, but
Yeah.
it wasn't damning enough for.
Well,
I think cops should just stop storming houses. I think that should be. Why are they storming houses? Why aren't they just sitting in a car, eating a bag of chips, waiting for someone?
Phone call. Just be like, listen, come out peacefully. You know, we will be out here, and we work in shifts.
Yeah.
So you know,
they got us working in shit.
so we don't need to barge in there and shoot your girlfriend in the head.
Especially the one that just started firing randomly into the building from outside.
Yeah, man. It's like
He was returning fire because
Because a man who lived there was like, "There's
Defending
people
his
breaking
house.
into my house."
Yeah,
and then just random bullets and went in through another person's apartment.
yeah,
All sorts of nasty shit.
yeah. Americans have guns out here.
That's right.
And you should not break into their house in the middle of the night.
That's right. They keep telling us to have them. Now you can't
Yeah.
use them.
Yeah.
In defense.
Pick one.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I totally derailed that, but I just wanted to tell listeners if they're hearing the.
Yeah. So it's no longer the fires anymore.
Yeah.
Or the earthquakes. Or the virus. Mm-hmm. It's now the
lack of justice.
Yeah. I mean, but that's yeah.
Was that the end of the?
So anyways, all these dinosaurs and crocodiles and sharks as the remnants.
They're still dinos,
Yes.
and they have not been nabbed by Satan somehow on his descent to hell.
He left all his shit laying around.
No, they end with this here. They say science and modern weapons of destruction are double-edged swords. Satan would like to beguile man into unleashing mass destruction weapons against himself, but he fears that man might unleash these very same weapons against his brood.
What's his brood?
You know,
Sharks?
and alligators and crocodiles.
Well, they're gonna go extinct.
Man has already the potential to eradicate all crocodiles and alligators from the wild and indeed from existence, and man can already launch the expurgatory war against sharks, piranhas, lamprey eels. Why those are part of it, and other vital
Marmosets,
creatures,
orangutans.
breakfast cereals,
Cows.
and other vile creatures of
beasts.
Satan's menagerie. To date, man has chosen to eradicate from the wild only one member of Satan's brood: smallpox.
Huh.
Under the guise of the generally laudable and beneficial conservation mentality of maintaining the balance of nature, man has unwittingly included the conservation of Satan's life forms.
That is the dumbest thing.
Oh, so environmentalism is actually helping Satan.
Yeah. Satan's like, save the crocodile.
It's another way the liberals are wrong, man. You know, ain't that a bitch?
How does the author feel about Black Lives Matter? I wonder.
I don't know.
What about Crocs the shoes?
Yeah. Well, that's probably from like 1991 or something.
Yeah. That's when people still did pamphlets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you got the word out about shit that people weren't really begging
didn't-
for.
Yeah, they really didn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't popular enough for someone to put it on the internet.
Yeah. Was there internet then?
No.
No.
Dark
Oh,
web.
And if there was, it was Satan's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Well,
Which it still is.
yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. That's pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know the sharks were basically Satan.
Yeah. It's one of his things.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Now, which ones do you think are satanic or not?
Well, alligators, no. Crocodiles, yes.
You think the gate are good?
You're not good.
You think the gate are good?
I mean, I've seen worse.
Huh?
Yeah.
Alright.
Voice.
Voice. You saying voice?
Voice.
I ain't seen worse than no gator.
How does Satan feel about a swamp thing?
That's a good call.
Well, they're probably friends.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, is Swamp Thing bad?
He comes from under. He comes
Fire.
from,
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, from the earth.
Yeah.
The green.
And he's a big conservationist, and we know that that's evil.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing loves the green.
Yeah, and he's pretending to be Alec Holland, but we know he's not. He's the great deceiver.
I bet this whole thing with the Amazon,
Yeah.
this whole Swamp Thing with the Amazon, has got the Swamp Thing pretty vexatious.
And this is why
I bet it really
and
does.
This is
That's a
why
real
God
crab
loves
walk of an idea there.
God loves Trump because he's trying to drain
the
swamp
Whoa.
Where's the Swamp Thing gonna go?
down the fucking drain. Pal.
I feel,
What?
Yeah.
Down with the fucking gators, the crocodiles in New York City sewers.
Wow.
Yeah, but the crocodiles, they built a life there. You can't just kick them out.
Yeah, but it's a non-conventional relationship life.
Fuck that.
They might come up like the penguin with a monocle and all that
And
shit.
a giant rubber ducky.
Yeah.
No, that's because he didn't have any parents.
Well, his parents was Pee Wee Herman and
His parents were a swamp.
and Simone. So
That's pretty tidy.
yeah, I didn't know that Satan was responsible for the great
Shoiks.
the Shoiks,
Shorts and gays.
Shoiks.
the Yucatan crater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool, man.
What about the Yucatan critter?
Well,
Is that nasty?
you gotta find out
shit?
for yourself. On that one.
Sasquatch?
Yeah, how does he feel about Sasquatch?
Sasquatch is probably.
What about Satchmo? How does he feel about Satchmo?
Louis Armstrong?
That's right.
Nice.
apparently the nicest, seemingly the nicest guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably an act.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably the devil.
Probably.
Should we take a quick little break here and then
Sure.
come back and we'll talk about some other shit?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And we're back.
Hey.
Hi, boys.
Hi.
Hey.
That thing we were talking about, we should talk about that thing. Breonna Taylor's murder. We should talk about that in the Patreon more.
We should.
Sure.
I just want to say, though, if you think Black Lives Matter is a liberal thing, then you're racist. Because it's saying that people are humans and stop killing them. That's all.
Yeah, it's not
fucking basic.
Marxist. It's not a plot. It's not a cover. It's not a conspiracy. It's really people just saying, hey, it'd be swell if our children could stop getting slaughtered in the streets by the police.
Yeah.
And if they do, maybe they shouldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
Because it seems to not be slowing them down. Mm-hmm. And that's not that crazy. And it's still, the thing is that, like, it's still the same argument, not to get into it again, but, like, I mean, when you see it in other terms, you realize it's not antiquated at all. But, like, I remember seeing just a guy protesting in Washington, D.C., a black man with a sign, in the 50s or whatever, that was like, stop lynching me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Or the one that
you look at that and you go like, oh my God, that's crazy that you would have to even say that.
Like, hey.
And the thing is, you still have to say
still
it.
have to
That's
say it.
right.
The one that says, I am a man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
No, we're all men.
if I had my way, we'd all be men. And you know what I mean?
In my eyes, we all are.
You know? My dick would never go down. All different types of men, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all men.
Whoa. So I want to talk to you boys about
Seamen.
Yeah. Nice. Worthy men. Seaworthy men.
Ooh, James Worthyman.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to talk to you about Lobster Boy.
Lobster Boy?
Yeah. I got to tell you about Lobster Boy.
You got to tell me about Lobster Boy.
You know, it's just a thing. It's so referenced in pop culture in so many different ways.
Like this Lobster Boy?
Yeah. You hear the story from all these different angles, like in the X-Files and American Horror Story.
Oh, this is why you got Crab Walk as your thing of the day.
Crab Wise?
What? Crab, whatever.
Dude, you already brought up Crab Wise. Now we're about to get Lobster Wise. Lay it
Yeah,
on
man.
me.
I'm talking about Lobster Boy.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not talking about Crab Guy.
It's all crustacean to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, your accusations are a little vexatious, if I'm being completely honest.
My crustacean accusations.
Your crustaceans is making me vexatious.
Now you were just talking about the Cretaceous period. Now we're talking about the crustacean period.
That's exactly
oh,
right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Break out the tannin butter and just the drawn butter as well. I'm getting kind of hungry. This is good lobster fest.
I'm a lobster man.
Get my
Yeah.
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah, if you got you got to draw the butter with crayon. And there's so it's called
Ichthyosis?
ectrodactyly, I think is the correct pronunciation.
Dactyly is the fingers themselves.
Yeah, an ectro, and so basically
Ectro is fucked up.
it just looks like you have instead, like Aaron, you hold up your hand.
My tiny hand?
Yeah, you have a beautiful human hand.
Oh.
And now
Oh.
instead of those 4 fingers over there, you just got like 2 thumbs basically.
Oh, kind of like the penguin.
But they're like 2 big thumbs, and it's not really like the penguin because they kind of look like 2 little dicks at the end of a drumstick on your hands. Like we'll throw out pictures, but like imagine here's the drumstick and then here's the bone, you know, where your
And I
thumb
got-
comes
so I have
out.
3 thumbs. I'm all thumbs.
No, you have 2. It's just 2 claws, baby,
yeah.
and you're lobstering around, man. And it often will skip a generation, but in the case of the Stiles family, it did not. I don't think ever.
Wow.
Whoa.
Not everybody had it, but there's in every generation somebody had it. And this so
Oh, it's a real lottery.
who we're talking about is Grady Stiles, born in 1937, and his father was Grady Stiles also, of course, and they both had it. And Grady Stiles Sr. was already fucking like, you know, I think even his father was already on the sideshow circuit.
Huh.
And
Well, if he has it.
his name was William Stiles, and Big Willie Stiles all in it, right? And
Was he getting jiggy with it?
He was getting, yeah. I think he had, a lot of ways to get jiggy with it.
No.
And you don't know necessarily that you're gonna have it in every limb, but Grady Stiles Jr. did.
In every limb.
Yeah, so his
Whoa.
feet would also have it.
So he's like a generational combo.
So you can't walk. Like it's like you have.
Yeah.
Basically, it's basically the same thing, but on your feet. But it makes them look like flippers.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about.
And you can't put weight on that.
You can't put weight on that. But he would get around, and he would end up building a lot of upper body strength. But he starts in the sideshow circuit at age 7.
This is Big Willie?
This is Grady Stiles Jr.
So the grandson
the grandson
to Willie.
of Big Willie. And they had it going through the family already.
It's pretty nice to know that they're fucking breeding, though.
Yeah.
Well, they're making a living, and they're touring.
They are kind of honestly. So, Grady Stiles Jr., the Lobster Boy in question, the famous Lobster Boy, will have a marriage to a fellow Carnival employee. I think she kind of works more of a grift thing too. Like you would have the whole thing is a grift,
Sure.
But then you would also have grifters there,
Right.
to like do little scams on people going to the carnival.
Well, I mean, for the crab folk, it's not really it's not a grift. They just sit in a.
It's one of the few where you don't really have to kill yourself, right?
Right.
Like, we'll get to that. But there's things where you would kind of have to put yourself physically through the ringer. The Lobster family, they would just have
Life
to.
is the ringer.
They would just have to sit on a stool,
Right. Check me out.
and they would basically have to. He would come out, I think, at age 7, and he would say, "I am the Lobster Boy." He goes, "This my physical attributes are not caused by deformity or drugs and abuse, like alcohol abuse. It is hereditary." And he would just talk about, this is where fucking, this ectrodactyly shit comes from.
Was it PowerPoint?
No, it's just him, showing off his good old pincer movements and stuff.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
Why?
That's good.
Yeah, it's
Every
good.
movement's a pincer movement.
Every single thing.
movement.
And he's able to live somewhat of a normal life because you could make pretty fucking decent money back in the day. Like,
Now, Grady only had hands, that ectrodactyly on the hands.
oh no, he had both.
He was all fully limbed out.
Oh,
Yeah, fully limbed out.
But
Yeah.
his
Dad too?
grandfather.
I don't know about the dad,
Big Willie?
and the thing is that there's, in all my research I did on this, there's a lot of accounts that don't completely line up.
Sure. That makes sense.
With circus
It's the
folk?
wonder of the
But it's crazy because you would think, like, a lot of these people lived kind of late, and you would think that people would get in there, but I think it's just a thing where people go like, I don't need to know, and they kind of turn away from it because it's a little horrifying.
Yeah.
Sure.
But so, as I think I've talked about on the show before, they all ended up in Gibsonton, Florida.
Well, that's Carney Town.
Yeah. And it was just really started by one guy going there, and his name was, I believe, Al Tamane, and he married a woman that was Jeannie.
She was a genie.
Her name was Jeannie. I can't remember her last name right now. But so he is
In a bottle.
8'4". She could fit in a bottle, and she's 2 foot. And now he's got
tall man.
He's 8 foot
8 foot. So,
4,
that's conservative. I've heard 8'11" and
8'13".
shit,
and
she's 2 foot, and
Well, see,
she's got no legs.
They complete each other.
She's called a half woman.
One person can get the cabinets and the floor. One
but she
person
was
gets,
all woman.
She was all woman, and he and her go there, and they start this little fishing and like camping community, and it's just like a thing where you're like, hey, come here and stay here, and we have this weird little campground that you come and stay at, and then more and more people come there, and suddenly the guy selling you fruit on the side of the road is attached to another guy.
Yeah.
Siamese twins selling fruit on the side of the road.
Wow, they can run twice as much.
And that stayed in business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, 2 apples for the price of one.
I don't know about these peaches, dog. People called each other dog back then.
Yeah.
No, Dog Boy's the guy down the street. He sells the mangoes.
Yeah. They had one of the craziest things.
Let me talk to your manager. Hold on. I am the manager.
I'm sorry, he's an idiot.
Yeah, I heard that.
One of these things back then was that you forget about is just the fat man.
Yeah, who was my size.
Well, they always paired him with the guy who was...
Oh, the skeleton. Yeah, the skeleton man. Yeah, it's true.
The fat man back then was like 240.
Yeah, it's commonplace
It's
now.
really
Commonplace.
Yeah, it's
you get the fat man, you get the skinny man, and then you get the guy who eats everything. Freak, geek, fat man.
Yeah.
It's a real, that's all really you need for a show. That's what we have.
huh?
Yeah. There was
We're all the geek.
Yeah.
So this woman, her name was Mary Herzog. And she was what you would call, Matt, normal.
Yeah.
German? No, noticeable physical attributes, but she did like to get freaky.
Oftentimes, I found myself wanting to get freaky.
The allure of wondering whether his other appendage was also split.
I would wonder if he would do a pincer movement with his, for the lack of a better term, lobster tail.
Yeah.
You guys haven't made a pincer movement reference in a long time.
Yeah. Well, get ready for a lot.
I oftentimes found myself pontificating in a crabwise manner. If you could maybe pincer my movement.
I found myself caught between the allure of darkness in the freak world and the allure of a normal life, caught in my own pincer movement of light and darkness.
In what can only be described as a pure abyss of sexual depravity, I found myself wallowing, drowning in a labyrinthine black hole where only the pincers of a small boy could save me from a pure oblivion. And his cock.
So, well, he's when they get together, he's not a boy anymore,
Man.
Yes, he would one day be a man.
And they say that a lot of his bad behavior later on was because of the abuse he suffered as a child, because people would just be like, "Oh, you fucking lobster freak."
Sure, that makes sense. That's how it works sometimes.
And yeah, I mean, when you see these fucking claws, man, I mean, it really looks like he's just holding up 4 cocks, like, which
circumcised.
In what can only be described as a young German girl's dream, this small American man, Grady, had. He was like a Dr. Octopus, but of cocks. Each pincer was 2 veiny, fleshy, sinewy penises.
what if he puts them together? What kind of mischief could he make? More than Loki himself.
A pure Dr. Octopus he was, as he would use every one of his pincers in my body.
I want to see 2 cracks.
I remember him saying, "She's ready."
So yeah,
this is so dumb.
he's really just cheerful looking,
Grady
Stiles.
Grady Stiles.
And nobody had seen these styles before, Aaron.
I mean,
these were new styles.
The only Stiles I know was driving a van that had a fucking Teen Wolf on it. But now I'm hearing about a fucking 8-cocked Lobster Boy named Stiles. Sign me up.
I think so. And then meanwhile, you're settling down here in fucking Altamani's town. He's got his little 2-foot lady. Meanwhile, Altamani's shoe size is 22 inches.
That's as big as his wife. Now,
How do you think he was set up otherwise?
Well, I want to know how she was set up. She had no legs, but did she have?
Did you sleep in the shoe?
Did she have a lower part?
That's a great question.
A lower mouth.
Yeah.
Grady
Stiles Jr., Lobster Boy.
Well, I'm guessing not a lot of sex.
Oh,
Maybe hand stuff.
Aaron just saw the picture.
Yep. Oh, they are kind of like
Little playful cocks.
wings, drumsticks.
Wings for him.
Yeah, he's a happy guy. You want to see some?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely show him.
Yes.
Yes, your classic Lobster Boy. Like you've seen it a million times. Yes, that's what I thought.
No,
you
finger.
said ectrodactyl. Yes.
Well, why didn't you say so early?
That's old hat.
Well, I've seen 4 dicks before, but 8? Well, I guess that's 8.
Yeah. So he would have to go around,
He's his very own legal porno.
Hey, there's Grady Stiles the third.
Don't.
Sorry. They just showed up, but didn't mean to.
Always read the next page.
Yeah. Oh,
No, there was no next page. Just the picture and the images.
I know. Don't get on the internet while we're doing the show. Maybe.
Well,
if
my
you can.
phone works. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I'm doing the show. Imagine that.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
Off the dome, pal. I'm doing this from the dome.
Do it like this, though. Do it like that.
I'm doing this
Like with your fingers.
from
Like,
the dome.
Give me
yeah.
the dactyls.
I want to see 2 cows.
I want to see 2 dactyls in a mouth.
I'm an electro pterodactyl. I got caught in some power lines. I wish I was with Satan again.
One day I'm gonna reincarnate. My name's gonna be Grady. Then you'll see.
So he gets with Mary Herzog, and she's a grifter. She's a grifter.
She a grifter for the circus.
And but she falls in love with him, and
He's a sweet boy.
And I guess in a few years he starts really hitting the bottle hard because he's so torn up about these torrents of abuse, people hurling abuse at him. And
At the show?
yeah,
in life as well, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah.
certainly.
What a nightmare.
Well, living in Florida.
You're also supposed to be, you're not supposed to be. I mean, he needs to be in a wheelchair, but a lot of times he's just moving crabwise. You know what I mean? He's just going.
That's how he grew up.
Which can be quite vexatious from the outside of the point of view.
But he builds up all this crazy upper body strength. You know,
Probably some good lower body.
lobstering around, man.
Good hip
The
strength.
pure strength of his upper body combined with the penile nature of his appendages was, needless to say, quite pleasurable for a young German girl like me in Florida.
Yeah. Well, they started out, I believe, in Pittsburgh, and then it was after Al Toomey and Jeannie set up, the fish hut down there in Gibsonton,
Right next to the mango cart.
yeah, that everybody started coming down there, and then you had your Siamese twin, guys selling the fruits and veggies.
One sells fruits, one sells veggies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Together they sell tomatoes.
Yeah.
Which is which?
And the books don't add up, so somebody's stealing it. And I don't know where they're putting it.
There's a gator.
There's always a gator.
You in swamp country now.
Not to be confused with Lovecraft Country, which is about 3,000 miles up north.
Knife. I got shot with a knife gun. So he starts getting abusive.
He gets abusive to her because he's hitting the bottle.
He's hitting the bottle.
And
they have 2 children by this point. One
That's a yikes.
One with Ectro.
All 4?
No. Yes, she is. Kathy. And then Donna, no.
So they have 2 daughters.
They have 2 daughters.
Okay.
And it's I want like she after a few years, I think she leaves him in 1973. Right?
What happens to the kids?
What's that?
The kids? What happened to the kids? Did she take them?
The kids, I don't know what happens during that time. But the crazy thing is that
After a while, the novelty of his penis hands wore off.
It was too many.
she goes. This is just the really mind blowing shit. Is she goes and gets with the world's smallest man
No.
after leaving him. Yeah.
No.
Well, you work within your community.
Yeah.
His whole body's a penis.
And I think his name is Harry Glenn Newman. And he's a little fella. Real little fella.
No, he's the world's littlest fella.
Yeah. And so she really likes to get freaky a lot.
Does she sit on his face?
I bet, man.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And she pinned him, and
Swallowed him whole.
and then she had his kid, and that's Harry Glenn Newman Jr.
Wow. Her body is just, it can do a lot.
Yeah.
impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he has like a really like low IQ.
Oh.
And he grows up to be the human blockhead.
The kid or
The son.
The son
Junior.
of the world's smallest man
is the world's dumbest
grows up
man.
to be the human blockhead.
The human blockhead.
Is it really a freak show?
Now, what's the human blockhead, John?
Well, that's just a guy that's he hammers nails into his nose.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be like, what's 2 + 2? And, you're like, I don't know.
And so that was a guy that was already in Gibsonton, was doing that for a long time.
yeah. He was a
And so that's a kind of thing, like I'm saying, where the freak show is, it's not just getting on a stool. It's like you gotta.
The freak show is the life outside of the freak show.
You gotta fuck around. You know what I mean?
So she's still in town.
Yeah, I mean, she
just moved across the
She's been
street.
in these circles. I think she was like abused when she was younger, and then she ran away with the carnival, and then she was grifting, and then she married Lobster Boy. Then he turns out to be I think one of his children said Satan incarnate.
Yeah, terrible person.
Yeah,
Love dinosaurs.
yeah, love dinosaurs. Well, he had electrodactylism. And that was his dance move too. Do that dactyl.
I want to go to Burning Man and
Now try it crab-wise. And so,
do the narwhal.
yeah. So yeah, she moves laterally or crab-wise, freak to freak. Goes from Lobster Boy to the world's smallest man.
It's a real crab-wise mood for me, career-wise.
My son's a real blockhead.
Put those nails away.
My daughter's a lobster, isn't that?
I'll suck your dactyls, all you guys.
So yeah, like they're all kind of in the same sort of clique, and
Except the daughter who's normal.
yeah,
Probably hates her the most.
Well, I've
Maybe he hates the one that
heard
isn't.
exactly different accounts about that.
so
I've heard that like he dotes on her kind of.
She's the chosen one.
And then I've heard that like he treats her even worse. I heard Kathy, the one that has the same condition as Grady, lobsterism, ectrodactyly.
You know something.
She one time wheels herself in between her mom and dad while he's hitting her.
Oh, God.
And then he just like really let her have it pretty
God.
bad. Yeah. So I mean, then you just got lobster on lobster violence, which is never good.
No.
Whether domestic or not, Aaron, I don't care.
International.
Now, which one was the main lobster?
It was him. It was definitely him.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, Big Willie Stiles, if you think about it, is really the
Lee's
main
lobster. And the daughter was kind of like a punk, so she was the rock lobster.
She was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns red. It's trouble.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, that's the red lobster. Yeah.
right. And they lived right out there on Cheddar Bay, of course.
Of course, and the wife, Herzog was such a freak that she loved getting that hot lobster tail.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
World's smallest man. That's what you all think.
You're a small man.
He's great.
He's not small.
You know who's got a small dick is that Altamani. Yeah, I don't know what Jeannie and Altamani were getting up to at all, man. I don't know what the equipment was. I don't know what was going down there. We all do want to know.
Do you have any kids?
He was the smallest man in the world, but
I don't know if they had kids. That's a good question. I didn't read of any of Al and Jeannie. No, but he died like in the fucking 60s. Speaking of big dying.
Yeah.
And she lived till 99.
Yeah, well, giant body is tough to keep running.
Yeah, and a small one apparently is. I mean, she's she hung in there and had the whole fishing thing still going till almost fucking the millennium. Like it's crazy. They moved there in 58 or 54. I'd be
Yeah.
something like that. Like it's insane. And shortly thereafter, the Lobster Boy came through. And so when he first had his kids, he set up a whole lobster family.
Lobster Fest.
And he built it as
Lobster Fest. Yeah.
He did build it as the Lobster Family. And he would go out and bark, and he'd be like, "You want to see my little kid that's like me?" And then he forced them on stage.
That's probably what happened to him.
At a very young age. And now he also, in the meantime, while she's with the world's smallest man, he gets with some gal named Barbara.
Oh, what?
And he has like another kid that also has ectrodactyly. So
What's Barbara? Normal?
yeah, I mean, you can call it normal.
She had crabs.
Paying customer.
Very good, Aaron. Very good. She had crabs.
Yeah. So that's something.
It is, yeah. She was crab wise.
If she wasn't, she was about to be.
Well, yeah, she got crab wise because then she bails too. Mm-hmm. But it seems like the whole crab critter crew kind of stay around.
The crab critter crew.
Well, the thing is that during a season,
that's part of the World Crab Kraken crew, right?
it is, yeah.
When you say season, you mean the
touring season,
circus touring, yeah.
And Gibsonton would be home in the winter,
right?
And so all those people would hit the road while the Gettin was still good on that shit.
And Johnny Barnum,
and the Gettin was pretty good for a long time, man. Like, I mean, think about Middle America. Like, how long were sideshows still selling in Middle America?
You go town to town.
You know, before it was frowned upon. Is it even still frowned upon now?
I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago.
I mean, you know, it'd be kind of one of those things. You'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, crab people, lobster boys, that is selling out.
Before the internet, when you could just look it up.
Yeah.
Or you could, like, if they come into town now, so anybody can just Google them and look them up and see what the fuck the deal is.
Yeah.
But before the internet, you hear a thing on the radio. It's like monster trucks. And you're like,
sure.
I've never seen a truck crush a car before.
Yeah.
Yeah. They show a lot of it in the commercial, though. It's amazing they still sell tickets.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, well, I think I just saw the highlight reel, so I'm straight. It's probably just a lot of them getting stuck in the mud and turning around and shit. I was like,
Gravedigger.
Bigfoot.
Ah, is he digging graves with that thing?
So during a season back then, so say just for instance, you know, the 70s, 50 to 80 grand coming in
Per person.
and then you're going back to Gibsonton where fucking dude, life is cheap in Florida now. You know, and back then it's even cheaper. So he goes from being a guy that people in the freak or sideshow community, they also in Gibsonton, it's not just them, it's the Barkers, it's, you know, the people that set up the whole thing. Like, they are a crew, they're a community.
Yeah,
circus community.
And so there's people that are like, I like Grady.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I know his family
known
says
him
he's
for
the
20 years.
and like, but not only that he went from being in the tent to running the tent. And then if you were kind of like down on your luck, he might give you money. And he's kind of a founding member of the community and stuff like that. And they do know that he does do a lot of Seagram 7 drinks to excess, and supposedly smoked something like 60 Pall Malls a day. Which is
Pretty impressive.
bananas.
Doing the hands.
And to flick a lighter with those.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Dude, and he's also learned how to like fire a rifle and stuff. Which I don't even know how he's getting. You know,
Probably has like a really good.
one of those Dixie. Well, he might have to sound the trigger to get. That might. I don't. Do you think he sounds
Sound the trigger or
he-
the barrel, John?
the trigger?
How do you sound the trigger?
How does he get it? How does he get one of those big?
Well, yeah, I mean, he probably has wonderful trigger discipline.
Yeah.
Because of the nature, he only has 2 fucking pins.
I think if you squeeze it in the thing that holds the trigger, though, you're automatically
Well,
firing.
then he just doesn't do that until he needs to.
He probably rocks his body forward using the pressure of the pincer. Or perhaps he has a custom trigger mechanism.
Who's to say? Who's to say?
This is Florida.
Yeah. Well, so he, but you know, he can get around. He can run an attraction.
There is a little bit of a saying I've heard. Where it's like, if this is who you are in public, who are you at home? Because usually, you know, when abuse happens at home, people go, "Well, I never would have guessed," you know, because you know, people have their own. The lives they show, and then the lives.
Yeah, well, there's a crazy thing too where, well, anyway, we'll get to that. But so while he's, you know, he's with Barbara, she's with the world's smallest man. They all still kind of center around him, I think, because they're all still making money through the attraction. Even though they're, you know, kind of making it sound like, oh, he forced us on. It's like, oh, did he force you? Can't you just fuck off? But then also, I guess you're still with the world's smallest man. He's probably still a big shot in the carnival.
World's smallest man is a big shot?
No, Lobster Boy is still a big shot. So you
Well,
probably
he's, you know, generational. You know,
Yeah.
he's been there. He
Yeah.
knows how to run it.
and you know he's making money, right? So he can pay you better than somebody else. And maybe if you, I don't know what,
Where are you going to go?
they're sticking around, you know.
No, but it
and-
makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You know, the third generation.
But he's apparently like really beating the shit out of them. I mean, he'll choke her.
Right.
His wife, his new wife.
Well, I mean, she leaves.
Yeah.
She bails. But yeah, he's hit both of them a lot. Hit the kids all the time.
He's a terrible person.
And he drinks like a maniac, and for God knows what reason, the daughter, Donna, who has no physical, differences between even you and I,
Old dick.
yeah, she gets with this guy. And she's like underage, and she wants to get married.
Rando got like
Normal dude, yeah. And
as far as Florida goes.
yeah, and I don't know if she kind of lies about maybe being pregnant so that he'll let it happen. And then he's like, he doesn't like the guy already. Whether he's
Dad doesn't like the guy.
Yeah, Grady doesn't like the guy. And you don't know if Grady just now is angry at everything or if he's particularly protective of him or what's going on. But that dude comes over to talk about it, and Grady kills him with a shotgun twice. 2 shotgun blasts, kills him dead. And apparently while he's like bleeding to death in her arms, he's like, with an evil grin, goes, "I told you I'd kill him."
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And so...
And you're saying that there maybe she knew that would happen and that's why she brought him over?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
You were saying that she might have lied about the pregnancy?
She might have lied about the pregnancy, yeah.
To keep him around?
To allow it to happen because she's underage.
To get her
Allow
to get
the
her,
marriage
her
to happen.
dad to
Got it.
Sign off on it or whatever.
Right.
But she's, really, kind of just being...
Well, that backfired.
Yeah.
And front fired.
And so, yeah, he's, he's just like, apparently, like, totally admits he did it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I fucking did it, And they find him guilty. And then they're just like, we have nowhere to put a lobster boy.
We don't have any sort of tank.
Yeah.
There's no there's no wheelchair access to the prison.
Well, did they cuff him or they just put rubber bands around his...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think that like when they had the lineup, the lady was like, "That one, no, the one, that one, and the one in the back with the."
They
that
did.
One, no, that one, I want that one.
But then what happened was he realized, he's like, when I put my arms together, it's kind of like one big claw. This is... Oh.
Yeah, they Voltron.
Yeah.
Lobster Voltron claw dick.
Yeah. It's really sad, because...
It's extremely sad.
I mean, if you think about it, he could never just rip him even once in his life, you know?
He's just always live long and prosper.
Always. And that
Which he couldn't do.
Nor did he believe it.
No, he hated it.
Especially the prosper.
No, he prospered pretty good, in all fairness. But he also now has cirrhosis of the liver from drinking like a psycho, and
cirrhosis of the lungs,
and emphysema. Yeah. So they're like, we don't know what to do with a. It's like, boss, I got emphysema.
I'm a terrible person and I'm dying.
And so they really just put him on 15 years probation for murder with a shotgun of like a normal guy.
They couldn't like put him in a pen. Like there wasn't like they were just like, well, go home and die.
I mean, put how about a glass box and the charge of admission?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
All the money goes to the state of Florida.
All the money goes, like, what the hell is going on?
This cell was paid for with crab money.
So yeah.
That sounds like a very lazy justice system.
Yeah. And
it's weird. I never would have guessed.
Yeah, well...
He was white.
Well, it comes back around. Let's take another little break, and
sure.
And we'll be right back. And we're back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rip it.
Man, I wish I had 2 drumsticks on my hands instead of this bullshit 5-finger nonsense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you want buffalo or barbecue?
So, now here's the thing. Speaking of pincer movements, Aaron.
Uh-huh.
One of the stories that Mary, a.k.a. Teresa, and I think the a.k.a. Teresa Herzog, is because of the grift of like,
right.
Well, what's my name? I don't, you know what I mean? But like, seriously, half the people are calling her Teresa, like in all the different accounts and stuff. But one of her stories about Lobster Boy was one time in one of his great, drunken rages, he ripped out her IUD.
Oh God!
With a
Matt just physically recoiled.
What?
Yeah.
Because he could do that.
Yeah.
Because
it's a pincer movement.
That's really vile.
It's really gross.
Yeah, and the fact that he was beer battered lobster. Well, she was beer battered.
She was battered and he had beer.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Beer
now,
brat.
now we're doing the abuse jokes after that horrible sexual assault thing I just told you about.
Oh man.
Well, now there's salt involved.
And but
You let him take one piss.
from yeah, I know, really, yeah. You loved it in there, didn't you? You drank it.
I
huh?
took a sit down pee.
Yeah, so you could point it towards your mouth.
Yeah.
Toids?
Toids. Well, the toids came out.
You pointed towards your mouth, don't you?
Toids in your mouth?
We pointed towards your mouth.
Well, you got to kick it up a notch.
You do,
But the ripping out of the IUD is really unforgivable.
yeah, several reports of at least her saying that. Some people will put her claims in doubt. To this day, the surviving children, Grady Stiles III and Kathy, both of whom who have ectrodactyly, say he's just the worst man ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even have any hands or feet.
I mean, so even if she was lying, it's like she was pushed to the point. Of,
Yeah.
of
Or
feeling
that's
like-
believable. So if it's believable, you're bad enough.
However,
I don't like this.
Oh God.
I mean, he's probably thinking when he takes out the IUDs,
I can get her pregnant again.
yeah, and we can have more. You know what's cuter than a lobster boy? A lobster baby.
Yeah, not this one. Not this one you're making.
What?
The full act of that is not cute.
Oh no, that's not cute.
She's gonna have a kid.
But
and
he's.
be
I'm
like,
saying
you
when
know,
he goes on the road, he wants to have more kids. This guy's got 2 lobster kids already. He wants more.
These are more maws to feed.
The thing about
Lobsters have maws, right?
yeah. He's always grabbing Lobster Boy. He's always taking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always snatching.
That's right.
They're like little hungry hippos. You know what I
No,
mean?
like lobsters.
Yeah, like lobsters grabbing shit.
Yeah.
And then check this out.
Yeah.
1989, Babs is left, right? Barbara.
Of course.
And that's the tiny woman?
No.
No.
just,
That's the regular.
Tiny man, yeah. Tiny man married Mary. And apparently she leaves him and goes back to Lobster Boy.
No.
After everything that's
How
happened.
bad was he? What was he
Well,
doing?
he really had her claws in her, man. She was really in love
No,
with
I
him.
mean the other guy.
Oh, I don't.
He was,
Tiny.
he was. I mean,
Harry Glenn Newman. I don't know. But I mean,
You have to. It's got to be. Oh God.
Who knows what Lobster Boy can do with his hands alone. I
Was
mean,
it maybe
there were probably
maybe
all kinds of squirty
Maybe
nonsense
she missed
going
her
on.
kids, or she was like, "I got to save the kids."
I don't know. She said she really still loved him, and at the time he was sober for a while.
There's always the time I was sober.
Yeah, and so he's like, "I love you too" and stuff, and they get back together, and they said like a couple of weeks later it was same old Grady, and
It's a yikes.
yeah, and so he's back to hitting everybody, and he's
He's already killed a guy
and so now when he's drunk, he feels like he's above the law, and
because he is.
he kind of is.
and under the sea.
Yeah.
He'd be really good, like as one of the Three Stooges, because he could just like
Oh yeah.
get your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nothing you could.
you'd be dead. You'd be dead.
Fucking pincers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, dude, get
Oh,
out of
I
here.
know. Yeah.
Guy's like a
If only he was a
Spider-Man
stooge.
Yeah, he is. And so he goes back to the bottle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Pall Malls or
Yeah, life must be tough because you escaped a murder and your wife came back to you.
I know, man. It's really unbelievable, but
No, it's very believable.
he just really had his claws into her, and now they're all getting hit and shit. And now he's like, she says one day she like wakes up like a knife to her throat, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you and the kids, all this shit.
He's only drinking.
It's just drinking, and he's
I'm gonna turn them into fucking scampi.
I guess there's still enough shit going on for them at this point. I mean, it's not like he's totally like hard up or anything. He's able to support now 4 kids from 2 different marriages and stuff.
Sure.
And
Total of 2 fingers.
he's
What?
he's just, a fucking disgusting mess. And she decides, all right, this is enough's enough, right? And she's like, something needs to be done.
She's got to crack some claws.
And so, she's got to crack some claws.
But she also she lives in Carneytown.
She does.
And it's been proven at least once that some carnies are above the law.
And
but is it also? But we'll get to that discussion I think afterward. But so who does she put in charge of it? But the Human Blockhead, her son with a 79 IQ.
Well, and he's impervious to any sort of physical harm. He takes nails to the dome. I mean,
right. So
this is really a supervillain fight. This is a supervillain face-off.
He immediately outsources it to this guy named Chris Wyant, who's just like a regular dude.
Oh, why would you get...
So the regular dude says, this idiot is asking me to kill...
A lobster, man.
A lobster.
For $1,500. $1,500.
Back then, that's like $2,000.
This is 1992.
Yeah. That's like $1,700.
I mean, really, how much is... How much is $1,500 in 1992?
I kind of feel bad for him.
$2,000. Maybe it's a little bit more. It's probably more.
Yeah,
I feel bad for him for thinking that's enough money.
This dude, his name is Chris Wyant. He does not hesitate at all.
I hate lobsters. I fucking hate them. I'm allergic to shellfish. I fucking hate them.
When I was a kid, a lobster bit me.
Yeah, and so she leaves and
clawed me.
And he's like, all right, blah, blah. He's sitting there watching TV in his underwear,
drinking, watching PGA Tour.
Yeah.
This John Daly guy's not doing it for him.
And he, fucking Chris Wyant comes in the trailer, just 2 shots back of the head. Just
back of the head. When he comes in the trailer, he doesn't even turn around.
No,
he's watching the game.
He's probably fucking drunk out of his mind and shit too.
I don't think lobsters can
he would have to roll.
Yeah,
his eyes really.
Oh, you have to do a lobster roll. That's very good. That's really nice, Matt. I like that a lot.
Which I didn't mean it.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, God. Well,
that's pretty good.
It's pretty tight,
Hey,
though.
that's half of my comedy.
I didn't mean to be funny.
What? Hey?
I just ended up here. I was looking for directions. So he, they come down on the Wyant kid, like whatever. They all get found out immediately.
Well, so he kills the guy. The cops show up and they say dead lobster.
And
they
say dead lobster. Yeah,
soup's on, fellas. Put on your bibs.
Exactly.
But they must have
How many of those jokes do you think went down the Tampa PD?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really, like, was it a cracker? Was he dipped in butter?
No, he was black.
But they had to have, was it obvious? Like, I mean, shot in the head, obviously.
Not a drop of butter anywhere. We got a real professional. A sick fuck around
I would
here.
have boiled him. Now, but
You would have think he has his antenna up at least if he can't turn around, do the lobster roll.
But they must have had to, like, there was clues. They asked somebody. Like, did they just ask the blockhead? And the blockhead was like, yeah, I asked him to murder someone.
Well, the blockhead has an IQ of 79.
Right, so it's the perfect guy to interview because he's going to give the whole game away.
Well, here's the thing is that I think the wife, Mary Teresa, ends up getting 43 years in prison. The blockhead is considered the mastermind.
It's
because
the papers must have
he put the whole thing together. I think Wyant got 20.
Idiot is mastermind.
27 years, and the blockhead got life. So it was like this fucking lobster guy, same crime, no time, and all of these people like
who murdered him.
Yeah, they go and. So Grady Stiles III, Aaron, that you brought up, he maintains...
On accident, I'm sorry.
He maintains to this day that it was...
Now, he is the son of Lobster Boy?
Through Barbara, not through Mary.
Through Barbara, the
second wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and forced into the sideshow. Mm-hmm. He maintains that she was just talking out loud saying something had to be done, and Harry Glenn Newman got it in his own head to just go and... set this up with this Chris Wyant character, because Chris Wyant supposedly had gang ties And it was like, he just had a gun, probably.
Yeah,
He was just, and he lived like in another, he was also in the carnival thing.
Oh.
It was like, he's probably just a guy that talked loud and was an idiot.
Yeah,
you know?
he's the guy that ran the fucking the roller coaster.
What gang?
But no, that's the way the DAs and cops.
That's how they justify
and
the,
news works. So they're like, he's friends with a guy who's in a gang. He has gang ties.
And here's
No,
what's
gang
interesting too is
affiliations.
that the LA Times article about it from 1994 is really quite funny. Because I think it's doing it after all the legal fallout of the cases and stuff, and they're just saying the word midget willy nilly in the article and
Oh my
stuff.
God.
You're saying willy nilly?
Yeah, willy nilly, and they're like, yeah, the son of the midget, the blockhead. He's like, I'm like, oh my God,
The son of the midget, aka Blockhead, was the real mastermind.
yeah.
So, well, they typed in dwarf, and then the APA rules were the Associated Press rules for how to respond to it were you have to be more insensitive.
Right, yeah. And so their whole thing is they talk to people like Jeannie Toomey. And she's like
Doing a really high pitched voice.
she's like I think that she should have got out of there, you know. She's like, I don't have any legs or anything, but I would have got out of there if it was me.
Well, like escape?
Yeah, like she was like, leave him. Why are you not leaving him? She's like, I don't believe. She's like, I feel like it was premeditated. And this other guy who was a carnival barker that they talked to in the LA Times article, his name is Wayne Murray, and he just goes, he goes, the way she went about it, you know, going through. He's like, if she just killed him, everybody could understand that.
Right.
And he goes, you know, she went at it crabwise. You see?
Right.
Did he say that?
No, I'm saying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she did go at it crabwise, Matt.
She
did.
went crabwise to kill Lobster Man.
So
Yeah.
but that was his thing. He just goes like, oh, like he goes, everybody here would have understood that.
Yeah.
If you just did like,
Now you involved the whole
Well, that becomes
the chef's platter.
That's a conspiracy now, and that's a different
You've
charge.
turned it into a whole gumbo mumbo
Yeah.
jumbo.
yeah.
If she just kills him herself, that's a self-defense. But now you involve other people, it's conspiracy.
You know, I would imagine
Yeah.
that because you know we do know that she left and came back, right? So she probably could not do it herself. She couldn't go through with it herself.
Yeah.
So to have somebody else do it, you get the same result, but you don't have to deal with the the
Well,
turmoil.
and she was adamant in her court case. She was like, I completely believe from the bottom of my heart he was going to kill my family. And
You already killed someone who was going to be her
Yeah.
family.
well, not only that, but also, what does she have to gain?
Yeah.
he's the money guy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not as if he's got that much money, but like,
Maybe his hands were insured.
I don't know. Oh, you know what he would do to the kids? He would make them wear gloves when they went out because nobody gets a free show. The kids that had, you know, the crab claws, he would make them put on like leather, you know, mittens. Or,
I mean, and that's the least destructive thing he did to them.
It's probably the nicest. I mean, also they don't have to get stared at.
sure, yeah,
Well, but they're with this guy.
The motivation is nobody
this
gets
guy
a free
that-
show.
yeah, totally. That's exactly what the motivation was.
It's really sick.
Yeah,
They're selling their bodies. He's like, never, don't sell your body.
I just don't.
Cover up those hands, you slut.
And
You're letting the whole town see your hand cleavage, you sick pig,
so
lobster.
It's good money in those hands.
after that, even though they have these two people that kind of speak on his behalf, in the article, at his funeral, 10 people came total, and nobody would carry his coffin. No pallbearers.
That makes sense.
Nobody. Like, he was genuinely like very fucking hated in the community, and I think it's really just
Towards the end.
Jeannie Toomey. Yeah, Jeannie Toomey was she was just one of the originals.
Yeah.
So I think that's why she's kind of on his side. And, you know, I think everybody else, though, they just knew him as this horrible drunk. And even supposedly in the shows later in life, he would, like, fucking come at the audience and, like...
Think you're better than me.
Yeah, he would you know, scare the fucking shit out of them and stuff.
Show of hands.
Okay,
I mean,
that's what I'm getting your money's worth, though.
I mean, that's kind of a show in that way. You'd be like... He's like...
I killed a man and got away with it. You like that?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
how the
And,
fuck
like,
did he...
Give me that pee-pee.
So that's the thing where you wonder too, like, was it sheer bribery that made him get away with it, or was it really them just being like, we do not know how to hold a lobster boy? Because everybody else that kills him gets hard time,
You can guess
hard
so many
the time.
things. The 90s were there's much more cracking down on that sort of shit.
Now
Like-
that's a lobster joke.
Yeah. Like that?
Right? Is that what you're trying to do?
Man.
That's two unintentional lobster
Do you
jokes.
think that when he got really drunk, he got cocktail sauce?
I did.
Got cocktail sauce.
Yeah, he did.
I'd be
Beer battered. One or the other.
I'd be making a lot more money if I was funny on purpose.
Yeah.
But no, the 90s, there was the crackdown on
Sure. But he gets out of it by just smoking 60 Pall Malls.
well, that's what I mean.
And being under the Seagrams.
That's what I mean. The people who
Under the Seagrams?
you very good. The
He
people.
didn't even react. He just quit. He was like, yes, of course he's under the Seagrams.
No, I didn't think about it. I had an idea in my head.
Yeah.
You jumped in.
You're not thinking.
I recognized as part of it.
You're getting steamed.
All right, finish this thought, please.
So the people who killed him, that's a sensationalist case. It's great in the news. The police have to do something about it because it's a big case and it's a conspiracy of murder, blah, blah, blah. It's the 90s. Him doing that shit when he did it, it's
73, I think.
it's
Yeah.
Florida
Different
in
time.
70. It's the South in 73.
And
it's anywhere in 73.
He's a freak they don't want to have to deal with. They probably have to make all sorts of like accommodations.
Right.
It's probably expensive to incarcerate him.
Yes,
Yeah.
sidewalks then didn't have fucking ramps. There wasn't any. There was no planning for
There were
people
no
with
rubbish
disabilities.
Yeah.
So like they were like, we're not going to fucking spend money to make this prison wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
You'll get street justice eventually.
Yeah.
Sea justice or
Yeah. He sure did like pinching people, man.
You'd be better at this.
He really, really was into the pinching. You know?
Of course he
You think
was.
so?
That was his.
He like choking, pinching.
That was his
you know?
main. That's all he. That's
This
what
is
he
before
knew best.
choking was cool too. You know, he was doing it in the mean way.
yeah, I know. I like the nice.
Doing it in that mean lobster way.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean,
You know, there's a cockroach of the sea. You know that.
I know that.
But you can also bet that if he wasn't a fucking white ass lobster, he would have. They probably would have given the fucking chair or something.
Well, I really
feast
do
afterwards.
kind of wonder if there's some kind of bribery going on there too, though,
Sure.
because it's you know.
You think,
that's-
you think the DA was just like a big fan of the circus?
I mean, no, just that he had. I mean, no, like I said, they would make decent money when they were on the road in their heyday, and maybe he had like a couple of fucking things put away where he could just be like.
That's a lot of money to bribe somebody for murder.
But you're not. He's still guilty of murder. All you're doing is just saying
the
the
sentence.
sentencing is really what it is, and you know he plays up his physical afflictions during that
Yeah, and then
part
he
of the
lives another
sentence.
fucking 20
The
years.
sentencing hearing, yeah, oh yeah, it's ridiculous, yeah.
But you know, so I mean, that type of thing is, you know, maybe the cops have showed up a bunch. You know, maybe he, after a while, between the shows and the abuse, he gets to know the fucking people who are in power.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably a pretty fucking loose, organized town anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wild time. There's a.
So
There's-
by not putting him away, they basically put out 3 other people away. There's 4 people's lives that.
Well, I mean,
that
that's
were-
why to me their thing is so much more justified. Like this is the thing where you have like a history of abuse and a guy that's only been shown that he can get
They
away.
had to take the law into their own claws.
They did.
Yes.
They
You
did.
can't spell claw.
without law.
Without law.
law.
That's true.
It's sea law,
Yeah.
They should
and
have
that's the
brought
law
him,
of the sea.
They
so,
should have brought him out to sea.
You know, there's that.
Yeah. Their only crime was clawlessness. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
They are the family of Claw and Order. So
That's true.
when the law failed, the sea law prevails.
No, but the son
and
had
that's
the claws.
fact, Jack.
The son had claws.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was.
Oh no,
he
I'm
was
sorry.
the blockhead.
You're right. The blockhead. It was the blockhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. and then he got nailed.
Yeah, he could have got pinched.
He could have got pinched. Well, he got pinched, and then he got nailed.
Yeah,
You know?
because he was the mastermind.
Yes, because
As
he
the
was
blockhead.
You have to wonder who that was it Willie?
Which one?
The guy who shot him.
Oh, Chris Wyant.
That's fascinating to me. Who is Chris?
The guy that's like,
I hate lobsters. Hey, freaks.
It turns out we're fed up with my dad. Do you like $1,500 and have a gun?
Sure, swell.
You bet I do. I was just gonna watch Matlock. Killing your dad's way cooler. I mean, he wastes no time.
Yeah.
No time. And I wonder if it was kind of because they thought it was, when I originally heard of the case, I heard it was this thing of like, oh, this horrible lobster guy was killed, and nobody in the freak community talked. It totally wasn't that way. They all got caught immediately, and then other people were ready to talk shit about the people that did it. And it's like, well, they're still part of the family too. These are all Carnival people, you know. And I find it hard to believe that all of them would be lying.
Yeah.
The entire family that's been abused for years.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he fucking killed a guy.
Yeah.
For just being
Admitted it.
someone's fiance.
In cold blood.
Yeah.
Which lobsters are? Cold blooded.
Yeah, no, you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like, you know, who did you honor to marry?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like,
It's like, which one of these X-Men did you want to set her up with? You know, like,
No daughter of mine is going to be marrying some dead 10-fingered freak.
yeah.
What about the human pincushion? That's the same thing as the blockhead. No, it's not. They had a human pincushion in the thing too. So that's the thing too, is that like by the time they go out, he's running like a 10-act show. Like he's kind of a bigwig in the community, and I think that was why people like Jeannie were speaking up for him, because he's probably like sort of the last hope for them too,
Right,
on an
right.
industry that was dying out.
Right.
There's no Barnum. There's no Bailey walking through that door. There's only this guy crawling
Yeah.
to save you.
Yeah, but also it is the thing too, where you go like, okay, am I gonna feel bad if I go in that tent and pay? Yeah,
Some people definitely did.
but also, what are they gonna do? Because now, like his kids, Kathy had another child, in 1994, 4 years old, and she has it too. That's the 6th generation since 1840
Wow.
with Electrodactyly.
Since 1840?
Since 1840 is Big Willie Stiles.
Jesus Christ. Well, kudos to them.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot easier to manage than it ever was.
Well, you get your claw me downs and all that clothing what? Wait, what? What? I'm just saying they clawed their way to the top, and now the industry's gone, and now they're just on government checks, is what I'm saying. That's in 1994.
Yeah.
Even now, I mean, I'm like, what the fuck are they gonna do now? You know?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
What? What?
Claw.
That's the same way he got me when he did who foots the bill for all this.
That's really. I got to claw it to you, John. Got to claw it to you. Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I knew with the bare bones of that story we would have so much.
now there's bare
bones. with the loose framework of that story, I knew we would have a million dumb things to say. So,
Jesus, that was really great.
Lobster Boy, man.
I mean, the freak murders and then his murder. It's really.
It's crazy.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Really, really loved this one. And we'll throw up some pictures because boy, are they a sight.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, in its own way, it's so sad too, because he just looks like this sweet little Augustus Gloop.
Yeah, and then his earlier
and then
pictures,
he's
he's
a
just a little
kid,
portly
yeah.
little,
Yeah.
a good old time.
You know.
But yeah, he's probably abused, and then he became the monster.
Yeah, well, you know, he had the demon rum, and he was under the Seagrams, and that's just
Under the Seagrams.
it was really bad. I had a lot of fun with you boys this time.
I had a lot of fun with you boys, too.
That was really nice. I'm gonna say goodnight. My name is John Fahey.
My name's Aaron Pita.
Matt Brousseau.
Good night, everybody. We love you. Bye.
Starburns Audio.